Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you convening this hearing today. I want to begin by thanking Chair Waters and Ranking Member McHenry for their collaboration in creating this important task force. I want to thank our regulatory friends for being here for this important first panel. I look forward to working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, as well as the regulatory agencies, to find a way to promote, foster innovation for both disruptive innovators and incumbent financial services players, large and small, over the next few months. In my view, our FinTech Task Force can enhance the understanding of this rapidly developing use of big data and data analytics. This task force should be focused on the American consumer as the ultimate beneficiary. Along the way, we will explore ways and means of customer acquisition and better service, enhancing financial services to the underbanked, all while making compliance less costly and more effective. When Congress passed the Dodd-Frank Act in response to the 2008 financial crisis, it included thoughtful, necessary provisions for the American consumer, but it also had the unintended penalties as a consequence of shifting critical traditional banking services and functions to non-banking players. Bank credit availability has suffered since the crisis, and many non-bank financial institutions like private equity firms, SBICs, BDCs, and fintech companies have grown, and their market share has expanded. Fintech companies in particular have seen significant evolvement over the past few years. These companies have appeared to be at odds with financial institutions' incumbents, as both are fighting for market share and business. However, in recent years, both have realized the value each brings to the other and have started developing mutually beneficial partnerships. Today, we hear much more about collaboration rather than disruption. I want to encourage the regulators to promote these partnerships and innovation while finding ways to reduce the cost of regulatory compliance. Specifically, I'm interested in ways that third-party vendor due diligence process is handled. As a former community bank executive, I understand the regulatory burdens associated with onboarding a new vendor and hope that the agencies can work together to enhance this process. That being said, I understand the importance of banks maintaining a robust level of safety and soundness. With technology constantly changing, banks must ensure that they're protecting their customers' privacy against both cyber hacks and other threats. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts as it relates to the use of application programming interfaces, APIs, and other ways that banks are using technology to enhance this safety. A year ago, the U.S. Treasury issued their very informative FinTech report that frequently commends the use of APIs to provide a more secure method of data exchange. I would recommend to the members of this committee that they read this financial innovation report as a foundation for their work on the task force. It provides a great overview of the many topics that we'll be discussing in the task force related to regulatory sandboxes, necessary harmonization, open banking, and bank charters, just to name a few. This hearing will not only serve as a way for the task force members to learn about the ways and means that the regulatory agencies are promoting innovation, but also a way for you to learn the best practices from each other. In my district, we house two accelerator programs at our Venture Center. The two programs are Fidelity Information Systems, a Fortune 500 company founded 50 years ago that serves as a community bank core processor. And last year, the Independent Community Bankers of America selected Little Rock's Venture Center to host its program, which focuses on developing FinTech opportunities for community bank partnerships. During the ICBA program, representatives from the prudential regulators traveled to Little Rock to discuss ways they can learn from this innovation center. This is a great example of how best to collaborate by having all the players in the same room. We need to ensure these dialogues continue, which ultimately allow for better compliance efficiencies, benefits to bank consumers, and help services reach the underserved community.